director Lee Cronin and writer Lee Cronin team up to make Lee Cronin's The Mummy. I know you've all seen the jokes online, and they are getting pretty fucking annoying at this point. And it seems like, you go through all the reviews for this movie, it's just talking about the god awful title. And honestly, this is a very horrible title. Not only because of how stupidly long it is, and it's pretty stupid when you type in The Mummy. This doesn't come up at all. You have to type in Lee Cronin's The Mummy. When I'm making my thumbnail, when I was making this, you have to type in Lee Cronin's Mummy, or else you're not going to get it. Isn't that weird? Isn't that stupid? I don't know. I just think it's so dumb, and especially when you're trying to set up a new dark universe, which Universal has failed to about 3 times now, I believe. You would hope that they just, completely wash away all the crappy stuff from the late 2010s and maybe try to rebrand and make some, good stuff with good titles. But no, we don't get that. We get Lee Cronin's The Mummy, which is unfortunate. But I did dig this movie, honestly, and while there's a lot of stuff I really hated about this movie, I still think it's very enjoyable. I think most of my lower side of the rating comes from how disappointed I was in this movie. This doesn't feel like a Mummy movie. This feels like Exorcist. This feels like Conjuring. This feels like Insidious. This even feels a little too much like Evil Dead, which is funny because, I'm pretty sure Lee Cronin was the director of Evil Dead Rise, which came out 3 years ago, 2 years ago, I can't remember. And we didn't need that. We needed a new Mummy movie, and we didn't get that at all. Even though I hated Tom Cruise's movie, and everybody hates Tom Cruise's movie, at least it's a Mummy movie. I think this movie just lacks it just lacks all the adventure of the previous Mummy movies. And when you're making a Mummy movie, I'm fine with Wolfman. You don't need the adventure. It's a werewolf guy, and he's attacking a farmhouse or whatever. When you have a Mummy movie, you can't just have the opening scene be the adventure portion, and then the rest of the movie is almost practically locked into a two-story household. I think it's just garbage. It's just garbage. You need this to be an adventure movie, and, even though we have the jokes of some of the Brendan Fraser movies of the past, at least they were adventure movies and horror movies at the same time. The Mummy is just a horror movie, and it's very modern. And while I do like that it's a modern interpretation of The Mummy, it just feels like it's lacking a mummy. The main girl, the demon mummy girl, doesn't even feel or look like a mummy. We have the scenes where they find the wrapping on the wheelchair and her skin, and we get some of the side plot with the father going to the university and getting someone to translate it, but it just doesn't matter. I don't know. I feel like all of that side stuff with the mummy tape or roles just didn't work out at all. The side plot did not matter in the slightest to me. I did not care for it. I was just waiting to see what stupid shit the daughter was going to be doing next. Was she going to possess someone else? Was she going to do this? Was she going to do that? I don't know. I think the biggest disappointment of this movie is that it feels like there is no mummy, and it feels like there's no mummy adventure, and there really had to be, because it just feels like another copy of Conjuring, Insidious, and even a mixture of Evil Dead in there, and it's just so unfortunate that it just feels like another copy paste. But I do still like it. I mean, I can't lie, I do still like it. I gave it a 6 out of 10. I think a lot of this movie is carried by its grossness. This movie is fucking disgusting, and in a good way. This movie is absolutely disgusting in the best way possible. Um, this is a pretty damn good contender for, nasty scenes in this decade with, like, Bring Her Back from last year, which, if you remember, was one of my honorable mentions for my top 10 last year because I loved it so much. It was so disgusting, creepy, nasty, and I think The Mummy was trying so hard to be like Bring Her Back. Obviously, this might have been filmed before or even during its release, so I can't really be saying that, but it feels like it's trying to be like Bring Her Back so much. You have the toenail clipping scene in the bathroom where the mom's clipping the toenails and the whole skin of the shin just pops off. It's so fucking gross and nasty. You have the oh man, I'm gonna forget the order of this stuff. You have the grandma getting pushed out the window and falling on top of the car, and then falling on the ground, and then a bunch of coyotes come and eat her stomach out. It's so fucking, and it's all blood everywhere. It's disgusting. All the scenes with the daughter being gross are pretty damn amazing. You have the doorway scene where she's talking to the new daughter, and she's like, "Let me suck your toes," and then she sticks her tongue under the doorway and starts licking them. It's fucking hysterical and nasty. It's just so unbelievably funny. The whole dinner sequence, funeral sequence of the grandma's funeral is hilarious. You have uh the girl ripping her teeth out and then coughing blood on all the deviled eggs. Deviled eggs, oh, genius, genius imagery, and yeah, whatever. I thought that was hilarious, and then people just eating it like nothing happened to it, and she's walking around with missing teeth, and then she takes the grandma's teeth out of the coffin and wears them and goes up to her parents and smiles. It's fucking hilarious. And then you have, the demon mummy daughter coming jump crawling through the roof, making a hole and then jumping in the coffin and eating the mom's neck. Oh, it was great. This movie is so successful in being disgusting, and being very comedic. Some of the best parts of this movie are the comedy. Especially that tongue scene that I mentioned earlier. It's just so unbelievably funny. I really do dig this movie's lightheartedness, and it's so weird because I think its lightheartedness would have worked so well in an adventure type movie, but it's just pure horror, and it's all in a two-story house. So it's unfortunate. If this movie wasn't so trapped and bottled, we could have got something much better here. But instead, it just feels like another lazy copy. I think the acting is pretty okay. I think the main problem of this movie, did I just lag? The main problem of this movie is the directing, in my opinion. A lot of the first like 30-ish minutes, like probably most of the first act, to be honest. I just think some of the line delivery is so weird, and it feels like they're trying so hard to. It feels like you're spamming A in a video game and trying to get the dialogue done as soon as possible. And these characters will finish a sentence, and then the response will be almost immediate, and it just doesn't feel like real because you're trying to relate to this family and make it attached to them, but all their dialogue just feels so robotic, and I don't think it's the actors' fault. I think most of their acting was pretty damn good through this movie, but there had to be something done about this weird line delivery for the first act of this movie. I mean, I'll just do like a really dumb example. Like someone will be like, "Oh, did you eat apples today?" This is how the conversation would go. This is so stupid. I can't believe I'm doing this. Did you eat apples today? Yeah, I ate apples today, and I loved it so much. How about you? Yeah, I loved it too. How about you? And it just feels like you couldn't get through the dialogue without not being able to hear anything. It just kept going, 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 going. This is a 2.5 hour movie. If you wanted your characters to, progress through the story, maybe shorten the dialogue, stop putting in so much nonsense dialogue that they're just cramming in to cram in. I don't know. I'm not sure. I did dig The Mummy. I do give it a 6 out of 10. If you like Evil Dead or Conjuring or Insidious, I think this is the movie for you. If you wanted a new Mummy movie, sort of like the Brendan Fraser ones or the 1946 Mummy or shit, even something sort of like Tom Cruise's Mummy, this isn't for you. This doesn't feel like a whole new Mummy movie. This is so weird and it just feels out of place in whatever maybe dark universe they're setting up again. We'll see in the future what they do with this, but I don't know. Very strange. Very strange. We'll see what's going on here, but hopefully Lee Cronin's next horror movie is pretty damn good because I think I gave Evil Dead Rise the same exact score, and I'm not too certain. I just want more. I think there's so much potential here with him specifically, and it's just not getting tapped to the fullest.